So back in June, I decided to try my hand at tomato farming. I bought my seeds from Sidco in Harare. Shout out to Rufaro, she handled the purchase and the delivery. So we planted our seeds in these trays and we used germination mix from Sandy's Creations. We were really happy with the consistency. This was day one. So at night, the trays went into my bedroom. So we kept them in my bedroom overnight, covered. For anyone who's been to Lavender Hill, you know how much of an honor this is. They slept in my bedroom. That is crazy. So within a week, we had seedlings and we had a very impressive germination rate of 97%. What that just means is that from the seeds that we planted, 97% of them germinated. For those in the know, a germination rate of over 80% is most impressive. While our seedlings were still in the nursery, we started our land prep. We used urea and kraal manure, and we did this because previously we had grown sunflowers in our field. We also intended to intercrop our tomatoes with basil. Okay, I did this for two reasons. One, basil is a natural repellent, so it repels certain pests and insects that love to feast on tomatoes, and at the same time it helps improve the flavor of the tomatoes. So it's a win-win the natural way. During the day, we would put our seedlings outside. In the first instance, we'll do it for about 30 minutes, and then we gradually worked our way up to several hours. Over the weeks, the seedlings grew big, tall, defiant. It was so inspiring to see them. It just gave us so much hope. I actually like to joke that they took a little bit of my character in the sense that they were stubborn. They grew against the odds and they stood up tall and proud. I really enjoyed this stage. And then we started thinking about transplanting, and yeah, if we had left them any longer than this, we could have compromised their roots, and we were not prepared to risk our babies. In the run-up to transplant day, we were leaving our plants outside for most of the day. Because this was during winter, the sun wasn't too harsh, and yeah, we were just getting them ready to be transplanted. So we transplanted, and I think this was transplant day. My goodness, guys, can we just take a moment to appreciate how neat these beds are? Well done, Reterero. We sorted out our irrigation system. Again, Reterero was on hand to sort that out. It was an interesting experience. I bought the kits from the UK, shipped them over, and that's what we got. That's what we did. How neat are those beds? Come now. This is incredible. Prior to transplanting our seedlings, we did a good job of hardening them off, which meant that we had a survival rate of 100%. None of them died from shock after being transplanted. We also mulched our beds, and we did that for two reasons: to retain moisture and also to discourage pests and insects from feasting on our little seedlings. Then this happened. We had an issue with our borehole. The cable snapped, and so our pump got stuck in our borehole. We've got static water at about 60 meters, but the borehole itself is 130 meters deep. I was so concerned because I had over 400 plants at the plot and no water source. But this is just where God came through for me, because when it initially happened, something within my spirit just told me, be still. So I consulted a number of people, and some of them were sort of saying, look, forget the borehole, just drill another one. But something in my spirit said, wait. And wait we did. The plants continued to thrive, but at the same time, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with the borehole. So despite our water challenges, our plants continued to grow, and it was just business as usual at the plot. We continued to do what was necessary. Reterero pruned the plants. I don't know if you can see the pruning shears on the ground. That is actually a faux pas on our part, because when we handle our plants, we have the highest standards of hygiene. So putting any equipment on the ground can potentially introduce disease. So it's something that we really shouldn't do, and we didn't do. So despite the picture, what a beautiful sight to behold. Those beds, the scenery. My. Our borehole still wasn't working, so one of the things that we did was to ration water. And the first thing to lose the privilege of water was the lawn. It was like, okay, look, we've got to prioritize the tomatoes. To sustain the plants that we had at the plot, I had no choice but to buy water. We also benefited from the help of our neighbors who were able to help us with water. Finally, we were able to fish the borehole pump out. I was just ecstatic, and from that point onwards, I just remembered what God had said to me. And so even when people were saying the casing was probably damaged or the borehole had collapsed, I was just like, you know what? I know whose report I'm going to believe. True to his word, God made a way. One of the most incredible things about this journey is God just connects you with the right people. Your network just grows. We had a water reticulation expert on the ground. He came and he just did an incredible job. And before we knew it, we had water again, despite the odds. Prior to our water supply being restored, we completed our trellising for batch 1, and I think round about the same time we transplanted batch 2, but that's a story for another day. And then just like that, fruit. What a sight to behold. Oh my goodness. Lavender Hill. Wow. Beautiful. We've got the tomato plants and we've got the hills, and it's just an incredible place. And this is, in my humble opinion, an incredible story. Oh, I forgot to show you pictures of our basil. So this is batch 2 basil, and then batch 1 basil, which we've kind of neglected. So this is something that we need to work on soon. We're looking forward to harvesting it and selling it as well. Here's another pic of batch one, and I think you can see the tomatoes as well as the basil growing alongside them. I'm pleased to say we only lost 3 tomatoes, 2 that were eaten by birds and another one that was attacked by a single caterpillar. We never had an infestation of any pests, and we didn't have any disease, and we didn't have any problems with the tomatoes themselves cracking or anything of that nature. At the center of our success is the great teamwork between Reterero and I. He knows this, and anyone who listened to me knows this. This would not have been a success without his input, and similarly, it would not have been a success without my input. So great teamwork and also God's favor. Yesterday, we discussed our harvesting program, which we started today. And at the same time, yesterday, we were able to secure some orders, which is just God's grace. So we planted an indeterminate variety of tomatoes, which means that we should continue harvesting until the end of the year, which is good, which is exciting. And yeah, so thank you for watching and all the best.